tell us a little bit about you guys coming out again. This is a second rally on the Capitol, and the importance that this voice doesn't get lost in the mix.
As most people are aware, that the Gaza people, civilian population of 2.3 million people, have been bombarded for more than 2 weeks now. Continuous bombardment with no water, no electricity, no internet, no food, and nowhere to go. And the Israelis tell them go south, and then they bomb them in the south. They go to the mosques, they bomb them in the mosques. They go to a church, they bomb them in the church. They go to the hospital because they've been killed, wounded, and they bomb the whole hospital with the doctors, with the nurses, and more than 17 ambulances have been bombarded so far. And more, the number of casualties is increasing day over day. And it's not just the number of people who are killed, it's the wounded. I mean, we don't talk about the wounded, remembering that Gaza has been under a siege for more than 16 years. So those 17,000, 18,000, 19,000 who are injured, and they are without a hand, without a leg, without an eye, without part of their brain, have no place afterwards. After the war is ended, no place to go for any medical treatment. And remember that half of the people in Gaza, of the 2.3 million, are children. So at least 1.1 million children are there. And what do you think, after more than 2 weeks of bombardment, the mental anguish and the trauma that they will be under? And what does the world expect from those kids later, when all of the light is gone? But beginning, we want to stop the fighting. That's one. Second, we need to lift the siege of Gaza. And third, we need to get medical supplies, food, electricity. And fourth, and most importantly, we need to end the occupation of the Palestinian people.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of support here in the Capitol, but also around the world. It's been a lot of support for Palestinians. I want you to tell me what it's been like over the last 2 weeks, seeing that support kind of start to get a little more attention, even though it needs more.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, for the past 2 weeks, I can tell you personally, I sit and watch TV and I break down over and over, and then somebody, one of my friends, one of my family calls me and says, we can't stop, we can't break down, we can't cry, not now, because we have to stand strong for the people who are being killed there. So we stay strong, even though we are under stress, we are not able to process what's happening, we are not able to grieve for our families who are being killed there. So we have to stay strong, and we have to come, we have to talk, and we have to tell our policymakers who we came here on Wednesday, and they told us that they just passed a bill standing with the Israelis with no mention of Palestinians, as if we don't care, we don't count. Aren't we humans? Aren't we people? If you are a person of conscience, you need to stand with what's right. We aren't asking for sympathy because we are Palestinians. We are asking for people to stand with us because we are human beings under occupation, and the occupation needs to stop.
When we talked a few weeks ago, I know it was in our very long conversation, I want to address it again. The Palestinian people do not have the same freedoms as the Israelis, even though many of them are under Israeli rule and, like you said, occupation. Talk about some of those demands that are not even demands, but rights.
No, absolutely. I think the media, whether it is national media or local media, have not. They talk about Hamas fighting Israel as if you are talking about two equal people fighting each other, or two equal armies fighting each other. It's the Palestinian people, 2.3 million people, with no access to water, no access to electricity, no access to food, no access to the internet. They are fighting one of the biggest armies in the world, the only nuclear power army in the region. And behind them is the United States of America and the whole European Union. And the governments of the world are behind them. Unfortunately, even Arab governments. However, the people of the world, they know what's happening, and they are saying no more and more, and we are seeing that. And people of conscience, good people, some of them know what's happening for years. Some of them are Israeli historians. Some of them are Jewish Americans who are standing and saying, not in my name. I'm not accepting this because this is not right. And in our religion as Muslims, we have to stand for right also. What's right? Any oppression of any people, of any person, is an oppression that we have to stand and say no to. So it's not a matter of Palestinian or not Palestinian. It's a matter of right and wrong. It's a matter of humanity, standing up for what's right and ending the occupation.
Nabila, is there anything that I didn't ask in this more brief conversation we've had that is important for our audience to know before they go on to their workday? They just keep watching the news cycle.
I think people need to find alternate ways of getting the true picture of what's happening there. I say that more people are standing, more people, not governments, standing with the people in Gaza and in Palestine. However, the national media and the Israeli lobby have a lot of power and a lot of money behind it. Versus the Palestinians are individuals here and the people who support what's happening, the humanitarian crisis, are limited. So we need people's voices. We need people. If you are hearing me, please tell your neighbors, please tell your family, please tell your parents, please tell your children, please tell your brothers, sisters, anybody you know, because we don't want to wait like people waited for the Holocaust to go after 50 years and say that was wrong. We need to stand up now and say, no, this is another Holocaust happening. We need to stop it now, not in 50 years. We don't want the people's sympathy in 50 years down the road to say this was a missed opportunity. The opportunity is now for people to stand up and say enough is enough.